year undergraduate student of the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, enrolled in its integrated MSc course of Economics. I'm a boarder of Radha Krishnan Hall of Business. I'm contesting for the post of Vice President, Technology Students Gymkhana, Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, for the academic session 2017-2018.
Vaibhav, can you tell me under which act Institute of Technology Kharagpur was formed?
Sir, Indian Institute of Technology was formed under the Indian Institute of Technology Act of 1951.
First of all, you are completely wrong. The Act was passed in 1956 and that has been also fixed and now it is Institute of Technology Act. And why are you contesting for the post of Vice President? Go
First and foremost, correct your facts. The committee was formed under Nalini Ranjan Sarkar in the year 1948. And after that, an act was released and for Indian Institute of Technology Kharagpur and time was released in Kolkata in 1951. Now, my father is told the Indian Air Force and hence I have been living across 7 cities in the past 12 years and hence I find it inappropriate to associate myself to one single city.
Then you should mention that you are from India. Then you are not mentioning it also.
Now, I'm studying at the Indian Institute of Technology Kharagpur and it's clearly evident that I am a citizen of India and a proud citizen of the country.
Vaibhav. So you are contesting for Vice President Technology Students Gymkhana. So please tell us what is the meaning of the word Gymkhana specifically and why it is justified that Technology Students Gymkhana is called a Gymkhana and not a Students Activity Center. Please be specific with your answers.
Sir, the term Gymkhana comes from the British culture that was instilled in India while they were ruling the country. It means an activity center where all of us can participate and enroll in the curricular and extracurricular concepts and development of the student community.
Let me clarify your facts. Gymkhana is not from British culture. It is a Persian word which means Jamaat Khana. Please don't take answers here and don't give wrong information.
Sir, I never mentioned that it is a word from the British culture, but it originated from the rule of the Britishers in the country.
As you are from the Department of Humanities and Social Science, can you tell the difference between humanities and social science?
Sir, humanity is the study of human behavior and social science is the study in regard to various social sciences that govern the study of human behavior. As the most crucial point of contact between the student community and the Indian administration, the Vice President must be a dedicated team player, a motivating leader and an efficient organizer. Coming from an Air Force family, I have developed a strong set of principles that instill in me a desire to serve the society to which I belong. These set of principles provide me the passion and further complement my skill set to serve as the Vice President. The learnings and experiences gained from participating in a plethora of curricular and extracurricular activities have supplemented my skill set and have further motivated me to contest for this post. Over the past 2 years, I have been involved with Students Alumni Cell, working directly under the Dean of Alumni Affairs and International Relations. As a student member in my second year, I work primarily on 4 fronts, which include database networking, event management, sponsorship, and publication. Based on my performance, I was selected as the General Secretary of Students Alumni Cell to lead the team for the academic session 2016-2017. I oversaw the successful organization of the 14th annual alumni meet, working closely with the institute administration. The meet witnessed the highest ever registration from more than 367 alumni, guests, and over 5,000 students of the institute. I was also entrusted with an additional responsibility of the finance head to manage a budget of 70.04 lakhs for conducting year-long activities of the cell. I assisted the Office of Alumni Affairs and International Relations and the Institute Development Team to raise an amount of INR 6.44 crores as endowment and sponsorship, which includes INR 35 lakhs for the Learn, Earn and Return program and INR 1 crore for the Hall Endowment program. I took the initiative to conceptualize and implement the yearbook portal for the first time. Effectively gather the yearbook content from the graduating batch. Apart from yearbook, I'm also responsible for other publications of IIT Kharagpur, namely the Tempo Shout, Journeys of Youth, Annual Alumni Report, which collectively have a viewership of more than 10,000 students, alumni, and faculty. Recognizing the potential of collaborative working of all IITs towards the betterment of the students and alumni, I successfully convinced 7 IITs to come under the umbrella SPARK, which is the Student Pan-IIT Alumni Relations Cell. Under SPARK, I was responsible for conducting the first ever Pan-IIT Student Alumni Meet in Bangalore. I deem it a privilege to announce the first of its kind Student and Alumni Affinity Program of IIT Kharagpur. Also responsible for organizing 3 guest lectures and 6 e-guest lectures involving a total of 11 personalities. 4 regional student alumni meets, student alumni mentorship program, and successfully implementing the senior class gift 2015 by constructing campus benches across 2.2. Convince Institute Administration to upgrade the senior class gift 2016 to a higher class and have already taken administrative approval for the construction of a student discussion center in Nalanda Classroom Complex.
Let him complete the SOP. If you are supporting this candidate and if you don't let him say his SOP, then it's of no point, right? Let him complete the SOP.
Apart from being involved in Students Alumni Cell, I'm also a technical head of Business Club IIT Kharagpur. I, along with the team, have organized two editions of the Indian Case Challenge, which is the country's biggest student organized case study competition. As a technical head, I led a team of 15 subheads to successfully organize the Indian Case Challenge 2017, which witnessed registrations from more than 1,500 students across the country. I have been involved with all three general championships under the Technology Students Gymkhana. As a boarder of Radha Christian Hall of President, I was a part of the gold-winning illumination team and the bronze-winning football team for the academic year 2016-2017. I was also a member of the bronze-winning case study team and the Hindi dramatics team for the academic year 2015-2016. Having an inherent desire to work towards the betterment of others, at the end of my first year, I interned at Pratham Education Foundation, which is the country's largest NGO working in the education sector. Here, my work impacted more than 300 households. At the end of my second year, I interned at Squadron Incorporated, where I contributed towards the client acquisition and contractor analytics facet of the firm. This year, I have received a summer internship offer in Omaha, Nebraska from the American firm, State of USA. My multi-faceted involvement have honed my leadership skills, my organizational abilities, and have made me an efficient time manager. Hence, I strongly believe that I have the zeal and the passion to represent the best interest of the student community across all platforms and discharge the duties of the Vice President efficiently.
Vaibhav, what was your specific role in fundraising? And additionally, can you also tell me what was the conception of ISWT and what it has led to right now? Please answer both questions specifically.
Sir, the fundraising effort in itself is a process which consists of various sub-processes, which are, first of all, formulating a strategy and deciding new avenues for contributions from the alumni. Secondly, making a connect with the alumni community and connecting them with the institute. Third, making them aware of the various improvements that have been in the campus through alumni contributions. And fourth, finally convincing him to contribute towards the betterment of the institute. I, as the General Secretary of Students Alumni Cell, played a crucial role in the implementation and formation of the Student Innovation Endowment and the Learn, Earn and Return program. In regard to the International Summer Winter Term, Shri Gopal Rajgaria came to the institute and saw Students Alumni Cell Senior Class Gift 2014, which promoted student participation across international countries, and hence decided to contribute 10 crores for increasing international involvement inside the institute. This idea in itself was realized by the government of India, and hence it was formulated as a global initiative for academic network.
fundraising is a team effort. Can you give me a specific initiative of yours in fundraising?
Sir, with regard to fundraising, I made it a personal initiative to get in touch with the batch leader of the 1992 batch. And hence initiate the batch endowment program for the batch of 1992, which has already received more than 20 lakhs.
Vaibhav, I have a question. There are large number of students who are getting deregistered and they are not able to. There are instances where large number of students are getting deregistered due to disciplinary committee, examination disciplinary committee, and the current rules of 80% compulsory attendance. So how are you going to solve this problem?
First and foremost, make the correction. It's not examination disciplinary committee. It's the committee on the prevention of examination malpractices. Secondly, I believe that all the measures taken by the institute are for the betterment of the student community, and if any such action is taken, it is to represent the best interest of the concern of the institute towards the academic performance of the students.
There is nothing in name and you got my intention. My only concern is that large number of students are facing this problem and you should look into it, and I have simply asked what are the steps you have taken, so you should speak about it rather saying that name of the committee is this. My only suggestion.
I already have a descriptive proposal regarding weak students of the institute. I will be discussing it in the proposal section. Hence, I invite you to patiently wait for the proposal section and hear about my proposal.
Chauhan, I believe that you are a Vaibhav, I believe that you are a member. Vaibhav, I believe that you are a member of the Students Alumni Cell last year, and during your annual alumni meet, an invitee of your alumni meet came into the Gymkhana not in a sober state and was disrupting various meetings happening at the Gymkhana. I can warrant it being the General Secretary. What you have to do about the same? And nobody from SIC came there till around 2 hours, after which somebody came in at 2 a.m. and received that guest. Can you please comment where you were at that time?
As a student member in my second year, I was entrusted with the responsibility of registration, which I was carrying out with full dedication at that time.
However, as a responsible member, is it not your duty to understand such security issues which are taking place? Are you not taking care of your invitees?
As the General Secretary of Social and Cultural of Technology Students Gymkhana, I think it was your responsibility to inform the situation at either technology guest house or the registration desk of the arena of the annual alumni meet, which you personally did not do, since I was present at the registration desk for 24/7.
Very good, Vaibhav. But I believe that the meet was conducted by the Students Alumni Cell and not Technology Students Gymkhana. Thank you.
Meet was conducted with Students Alumni Cell, but in case of any concern, I believe it was your responsibility as a member of Technology Students Gymkhana to inform if anything is happening in this regard.
Vaibhav, can you first tell me if you have appeared for the test of student placement committee member, and if yes, and suppose if you don't clear the test, will you still consider yourself as an able candidate for the vice president?
Yes, I have appeared for the test for the student placement coordinator. Secondly, in regard to the result, let's discuss them when the results come out.
Please,
Vaibhav, a lot has been said on the UG perspective, and I have been hearing around for quite some time now. And nothing has been technical till now. It is IIT. So my prominent question is from you that how do you propose to increase the collaboration in terms of knowledge sharing between UG and PG? Make it very sure, don't be diplomatic on that.
Yes, sir. I believe that the postgraduate and also the research scholar community has an immense research-based knowledge, and that through the same, the undergraduate committee can be collectively benefited. An example of the same is the consulting club that comes under the purview of Vinod Gupta School of Management. And I believe that a collaboration between the knowledge bases of the undergraduate and the experiences of the postgraduates and research scholars can lead to the development of the entire student community.
I have a follow-up on that, Vaibhav. So you mentioned you knew about something. That's good. But there has been some problem. In this year only, there was a particular, there was Global Summit, and one of the institutes here has had its own fest and it got clashed. There was some issue. I'm not getting into that. So if the department fest that are organized receives very poor participation or this clashes happens, what will be your take, or what would you do to tackle these problems? I'm talking on the perspective of Vinod Gupta School of Management, I'm talking on the perspective of Rajiv Gandhi Law College, I'm talking on the perspective of, apart from IIT, other PG guys.
Yes, sir. I believe that what happened in regard to Purvodaya this year should not be repeated and would not be repeated, because I'll be taking the dates of each and every department and school fest well in advance to avoid any clashes of the fest. And if there are any clashes, I'll inform the same to the organizational authorities of both the fest. Apart from that, to increase the participation at department fest, I'll publicize the event to the student senate and ensure proper publicity in every hall of residence, which would hence increase the participation of students in the department fest of the institute.
Okay, Vaibhav, as per the latest university rankings, IIT Kharagpur has a better ranking in citations per paper, which indicates the quantity of research rather than the H index, which indicates the quality of research. So what is your comment on this? And as a vice president, what would you do to improve the research facilities and participation of the students in the campus?
Sir, I believe that the rankings has improved both in regard to the quantity and the quality, and will be increasing in the near future. As the Vice President of Technology Students Gymkhana, our first and foremost support the idea of an undergraduate research award that has been already proposed by the institute. Secondly, I have complete proposals in regard to research scholar students, whom I will be providing with all the facilities necessary for conducting research, and hence ensure proper research at IIT Kharagpur.
In recent past, there has been an incident that one of the esteemed professors slapped one of the core members in a fest in front of all the participants as well as everybody around. This is defaming to the institute as well as the fest. So what is your stand on that?
I personally believe that any member of the collective Kharagpur community does not have the right to manhandle any other person.
I said it's a professor who did that.
Any member of the IIT Kharagpur community, that is what I mentioned.
Vaibhav, as far as I remember, you were a part of the B Club. A B Club conducted ICC in accordance with Chitrej in 2016, but not in 2017.
Can you answer my question? What is your say on that? If you be the face of the students, how are you going to handle such a situation when a professor misbehaves?
Well, in regard to any such situation, the same will be informed to the institute administration, and I as a vice president will ensure that proper stand is taken on behalf of the student and proper justice is provided to him.
Vaibhav, a lot of points and points was mentioned in your statement of purpose. First of all, let me congratulate you for taking the credit for your entire team in your statement of purpose. I would like you to hear from you that what are the three ways to generate funds from Gymkhana for any new event Gymkhana? Can you repeat your question? What are the three ways in which you can draw the funds from Gymkhana? Am I clear?
Any proposal for any funds to be drawn for the technology student Gymkhana can be informed to the executive council, who can then make the decisions in regard to funds.
Can you obtain a sponsorship for an event in Gymkhana? Can you obtain it? And is there any provision to do that in IIT Kharagpur?
Sir, as per the correct scenario, none of the societies that come under the purview of technology student Gymkhana are allowed to raise sponsorship in this regard.
Can you tell me, how did you come to the conclusion of 10,000 viewership?
Ma'am, the viewership of 10,000 students, alumni and faculty from the 4 publications which are the Institute Yearbook, the Tempo Shout, Yannick the Pure and the alumni report come from the estimation that the Institute Yearbook is presented to more than 2,500 graduating students of IIT Kharagpur. A student newsletter, the Tempo Shout, is distributed to every alumni who attends various programs at Students Alumni Cell. Yannick the Pure is given to every attendee and everyone mailed to every participating batch of the annual alumni meet in a soft copy format, which comes out to a collective number of more than 1,000 alumni. Secondly, the annual alumni report is sent across to every alumni of the institute, which stands collectively in more than 60,000 alumni. Hence, the figure of 10,000 is very modest in compared to the total viewership it might actually have.
Right. Vaibhav, considering your obvious discomfort with public speaking, would you be open to taking remedial English speaking classes in the event you are elected as Vice President?
And I do not see any discomfort in regard to public speaking.
Vaibhav, can you tell me about this student and alumni affinity program that you're talking about?
The Student and Alumni Affinity Program is one of a kind program through which students and alumni of IIT Kharagpur could get discounts from various outlets, online or offline. There is something specifically for every KGPN present across the globe.
Thank you, Vaibhav. We're done. We're completely running on time. We'll have to invite the next candidate.
I'd like to thank everyone for relating to my statement of purpose.
I have 6 proposals for the betterment of the entire student community. My first proposal is the Earn As You Learn program. This proposal is aimed at creating multiple avenues in the institute that provide opportunity to students to earn mutual benefits by utilizing their skills and talents. Under this, I aim to create an ERP portal with 3 major domains: Student Assistant Program, Project Opportunities, and Miscellaneous Opportunities. My second proposal is reaching out to and through the counseling center. This proposal is aimed to help the students fight any emotional or psychological phases in their lives which may hamper their regular schedule. It will help to fight counseling as a taboo and shall reduce the number of students suffering from depression, substance abuse and anxiety. It shall also strengthen the image of the counseling center within the campus. My third proposal is a 5-point approach for improving placement preparedness. This proposal is aimed at strengthening the preparedness of the students sitting for the placements. It shall provide comprehensive and exhaustive means
of preparation through inclusion of department faculty and alumni. Development of a preparatory e-handbook comprising of a repository of questionnaires. Representation from the research scholar community in the student placement coordinator team. And collaboration with the counseling center. My fourth proposal is the introduction of performing arts like music, dance and drama as extra academic activities for first and second year undergraduate students. My fifth proposal is a profile repository for research scholar students. This proposal is aimed to initiate and maintain a repository of the profiles of research scholar students in the form of web pages containing their information especially pertaining to research. An independent database with all the profiles will be maintained under a separate section, Research Scholars. In addition to this, these will be linked to the profiles of the faculty in charge on the IIT Kharagpur website. My sixth proposal is a mess council to improve the mess system. This proposal is aimed to improve the mess system and quality of the food in the campus across various halls of residence. A plan to create a forum consisting of all the General Secretary mess of all halls of residence, the General Secretary of Food and Mess Monitoring Committees, Vice President of Technology Students Gymkhana, and the Professor in charge of the Food and Mess Monitoring Committee. It will prove helpful in establishing a channel to directly communicate student grievances to the Hall Management Center. In regard to my first proposal, I would just like to speak on the vision. You already have all the details with you in the given documents. I envision a Kharagpur where help shall be provided to all those who ask for it. Building a strong network of students, faculty and alumni within the campus with an aim to achieve collective progress can go a long way in helping students benefit from the vast pool of resources available around them. In the long term, the successful execution of this program shall drastically reduce the number of weak students and yearly backlogs and subsequently eliminate them. The full potential of this program shall only be achieved when students possessing different skills come up themselves to post short-term courses for fellow students.
Vaibhav, why have you focused on weak students?
Sir, currently the institute is doing every bit possible to promote research facilities, sending students to conferences on international level. But let us think, what are we doing in regard to those weak students who currently have no resource to pursue studies and actively seek out for resources to engage in learning? I believe that this program will provide a platform for them to learn and also a platform for all the students who wish to impart knowledge to the fellow student members of their community.
Vaibhav, I know that you're discussing the first proposal, but I want to get back to the fifth proposal. What you said by National Digital Library, is it not a repository of all the details that you're planning to propose in your fifth proposal? Is it not already implemented?
We can only ask about the first proposal at this point of time. We can move to that later.
And
So just to answer, it's a profile repository for the research scholar students. Like if you have noticed the website of international universities, they have separate profiles for every research student. And there you can go and look out at the areas of his personal research and his personal interest. It's in no way linked to the National Digital Library.
Vaibhav, I have a question for you. You are mentioning that you will be making a
I request everyone to be quiet. We are running very short on time, and if you scream like this, you won't be able to complete the question and answer session.
Vaibhav, you are saying that you want to create a platform where work opportunities within the campus can be consolidated. So don't you think that the Gymkhana website and the Gymkhana Facebook page are doing the same thing, and you will be the VP of Technology Student Gymkhana should do that without being put in this proposal?
Sir, why can we link a single proposal to the institute administration that would serve the entire student community by an official administration person? Why do we need to institute the Technology Student Gymkhana when it's especially in regard to academic purposes? You should take it because the official administration of the institute, and I want to take it to greater heights. Are you done? Talking in terms of Harvard and Oxford University. Are you done? So you can proceed with your further question.
So what I'm saying is, I'm not talking about whatever you're trying to do. I have just stated what is written over here, that you are trying to make up a platform. So that is already existing. You are not doing anything new in this proposal.
Sir, do you have a platform for weak students?
No, you said that this is for consolidating students about the quality opportunities. Opportunity.
So in your proposal, basically to address the concerns of the academic concerns of weak students, you are mandating another additional class which will not be taken by a professor but by a teaching assistant. It is a fact that many students are weak because they just don't attend classes by professors. What makes you think that they will not attend those classes and these classes will somehow be mandatory and help improve their performance, which are already just once in a week?
Sir, this is a two-way approach to learning. The students already learn through Professor Vaibhav. We are envisioning a program where students will be focusing on peer-assisted learning. That is done in case of every student in regard to examination when he goes to his fellow students to learn the basic concepts. In a shorter span of time, and hence, I believe a student perspective is needed in the process of learning, which will be imparted through this platform.
Right. But despite existence of that peer learning platform, as you have already mentioned, students are still weak, right? So it clearly differs that the peer learning, let me complete. It clearly means that the peer learning program, which is clearly in practice, as well as the professor learning program, despite existence of both of them, students are still weak. So how exactly does your system?
Sir, are you aware of the only successful peer learning program? Sir, are you aware of it? Sir, the only successful peer learning program are the PDS doubt sessions organized by the student welfare group, wherein the students come and teach their fellow students. And hence you have seen the attendance and the results of that program. This is what I want to take to greater heights and apply to all the courses.
So what is the last question of this proposal?
First, congratulations on the proposal. This is first proposal where I'm seeing UG, PG and RS are collectively taken into account. The question that I have is, teachers here are like very busy. You know that for a matter of fact, right? So have you done the ground check when you can ask the teacher that will he or she devote that extra amount of time that is required for this?
Ma'am, the only amount of extra time required by a teacher is to selection of the student assistant for this program, to which any professor willingly will devote to a selection of a student assistant who would in turn take the classes of the students and hence ensure proper education is given from all the perspectives. And hence I believe that I have taken this. I have also discussed the matter with the Dean of Undergraduate Studies, Professor Sudhir Kumar Barai, and he appreciated my efforts.
Let's move on to the next proposal. So please just read that out very briefly. We'll move on to the question.
IIT Kharagpur, among the few institutes which has a counseling center on its campus to help its students fight any emotional or psychological phases in their lives which may hamper their regular schedule. Yet there have been cases where students suffering from depression and anxiety have conceived such gnawing pain that it forced them to take the extremely harsh step of ending their lives. I propose a reach out program which works round the year by conducting compulsory behavioral and psychometric tests on students when they enter their college in the first year and then randomly using past data based on algorithm on unsatisfactory analysis of which the student is required to report to the counseling center. Additionally, I propose a testimonial drive to encourage students to share their stories of overcoming depression to be released from the counseling center's Facebook page. Working and the complete process are given in the proposal.
Yeah, so I have read about this complete process that you are talking about. Let me point out a loophole in here. You are saying that you will be using the data of deregistered subjects and change in SGPA for the data analytics. Me being an ex-governor of Kharagpur data analytics groups, I can tell you that this data is not enough for any of the predictions. Now, you would have known about this loophole if you would have consulted to any of the person who has done data analytics or is well in machine learning algorithms. But in your groundwork, I can see that you haven't considered any person who can vouch for this particular data analytics method that you are talking about. Can you please elaborate?
I have discussed the matter with Mr. Buddha Prakash, who has a summer internship of Google. Silicon Valley, and I believe it is completely provisioned for any data analytics. Secondly, let me say, the data is not only in case of backlog and registered students. What we aim to is to create a repository of the results of the psychometric test over a longer period of time, and then use data analytics techniques on them to identify the behavior and aspects of the students, and then provide help to them.
So why did
center? So why did sir, let me complete my answer. The reason why we have mentioned the backlogs and deregistered students right now is because as of now we don't have any other data set that can predict the number of tests to be given to the student. Right now we can only consider, sir, let me complete my answer. Right now we can only consider areas in which the student might feel depressed. Hence, we have taken it into account and we'll be sending the test to these students and only on unsatisfactory.
What are you answering? What have I asked and what are you answering?
I have answered perfectly what you asked.
Why haven't you mentioned the name of the person that you have consulted for the algorithm? Do you think that this is a rubbish piece of paper that we are handling over here and you don't consider it important to write these things in here?
Sir, it feels sad that you are addressing such an issue and still considering this fact as a rubbish piece of paper. Mr. Pity only has a student as an institute. Secondly, please let me answer your question. There are various persons involved. It does not feel I'll discuss and mention the name of each and every person with whom I have discussed this idea. I have mentioned the name of Dr. Shefali Batra from Mindframe, which is a multi-specialty clinic for psychotherapy based out in Mumbai. She has given a positive approval for the test and will completely support the implementation of this test.
Actually, in these days, we are like wasting a lot of time running to the counseling center. We are not getting anything. There is like lesser slots for students available at the time. So, what's your views on this, and how can you implement what you are talking about?
First and foremost, we wish to eradicate the stigma associated with the counseling center. With this process, we will be inviting not only the students who might need counseling, but all the students to share their opinions and discussions in regard to the counseling center. First of all, this would remove the stigma that is currently associated with the counseling center. Secondly, as per the number of counselors, we have 4 counselors, which work for about 7 hours a day. And hence, a small counseling session takes about 15 minutes. The total number added up for all the resources would come out to 112 sessions per day, addressing 112 students, which in turn can be easily managed from the number of students that will be visiting the counseling center.
We are done with the questions. We'll move on to the proposal of the fourth candidate.